Hi, book nerds. Mary here. Just wanted to jump on real quick and do my December 25 wrap up. In December, I read 8 books and DNF'd 1. I will tell you about them in order from least favorite to favorite. So, my DNF for the month was Faithful by Stephen King. This is a book about baseball and the Boston Red Sox. I read a couple pages and just could not. So I DNF'd it, which is the right thing to do. And I've already put it upstairs with all my Stephen King books because I don't have room for them on my shelves. And I'm not going to pull it out. So I'll pop a picture on the screen. If you enjoy baseball, maybe this would be a book for you, but it just was not for me. So DNF to Faithful by Stephen King. All the rest of the books I finished were 3 stars or better, but some were definitely more enjoyable than others. The Chimes by Charles Dickens. My little Dickens loving heart hates to put him in last for the month, but this short story novella was not for me. It is the second in his series of Christmas stories, and it's right after A Christmas Carol. While I love and think A Christmas Carol is masterful, The Chimes just was not. And unfortunately, I gave it 2.5, 3 stars, just because you can see some of Dickens' genius in it. But if you're looking for a heartwarming Christmas story, go with A Christmas Carol and leave The Chimes. Next was my Bookstores in Real Life book club pick of the month, and it is Fallen City by Adrienne Young. I didn't like this book. I mean, again, I gave it 2.5, 3 stars because I felt that there were things about it that were pretty well done, but this just was not for me. I did not enjoy it. It was this kind of forbidden love. They're on 2 different sides of this war. The female main character, Maris, I just feel like she made so many bad decisions, and I did not see what they saw in each other. So to me, it wasn't a love story. It was one of those like, why are y'all together? It doesn't make any sense. And I think it was just a sexual attraction, which, hey, that's fine, but don't act like you're pining for each other when your different factions are at war. Whatever. Anyway, Fallen City by Adrienne Young, 2.5 to 3 stars. Next, I would have to say would be The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. I have returned this book to the library, so I'll pop a picture on the screen. Tried to read it on ebook, couldn't get through it at all. Finally got the physical copy, and it was easier to read on the physical copy, but still I had to kind of skim the last 40% or so. A lot of what I love about Joe Abercrombie is his character work, and there is some decent character work here. My issue is it's a very basic story of this group of misfits who are charged with protecting this woman who is believed to be the princess, future empress of this kingdom, and they have to get her back to that kingdom safely. Sounds good, right? But that's really it. That is the story, and all the majority of the book is just them going from town to town fighting people. And if you enjoy that, that's fine. And I like a good fight scene. But if that's all there is, it just wasn't enough for me to stay engaged with the story. And I didn't really care about most of the characters. I love a good Joe Abercrombie morally gray character. But there was something about these that I just did not care about. So unfortunately, that was a 3-star read for me. I believe there will be a second book in the series, and I will probably read it because I enjoy Joe Abercrombie so much. But 3 stars for The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. Next, we have The Cat Who Saved the Library, which would be the highest of my 3-star reads for the month. It is by Suzuki Natsukawa, and it's the second book in this series. It's basically just related stories. You could read them individually, and it's about the love of books. It's sweet. It's a little slow, meandering in some spots, but I did enjoy this, and I will definitely be continuing with this series. Next was my Agatha Christie book club book of the month, which was a short story collection called The Listerdale Mystery. And of all Christie's short story collections, this may be my favorite. I ended up giving this 4 stars. It's a little uneven. There were a couple 2 stars in there, but there were some stories that I really enjoyed. So if you like Agatha Christie, if you like classic mysteries, and you enjoy reading the short stories just that you can fit in here or there in your day, I would recommend The Listerdale Mystery. I also listened to Crucible of Gold by Naomi Novik. It is in the Temeraire series, and I just love this series. I gave this one 4 stars as well. Temeraire is one of my favorite characters. I enjoy Simon Vance's narration. And this series is dragons in the Napoleonic War. How can you go wrong with that? So if you're looking for a new fantasy series that isn't too epic, meaning too stressful, and a little more just kind of an enjoyable dragon fantasy series to read, I highly recommend the Temeraire series by Naomi Novik. I feel like I don't see enough people talk about this series. So this is further along, but Crucible of Gold was a great listen for me. 4 stars. Next, we have my 2 5-star reads for the month. And the first one I'm going to talk about is my favorite read of the month, but it was a reread, and so I'm excluding it as my favorite. This is an Infinity Star book for me. If you know me, I love this author. I love this series. Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. This book. I did listen to it, and the narration by Michael Kramer and Kate Reading. I don't know. I have to say Reading because that's how it's spelled. I'm pretty sure she pronounces it Reading. It's okay. This book, okay, let me go on. Let me go back. When I originally read The Way of Kings, I gave it 5 stars and felt like a book could not be better than The Way of Kings. I loved it so much. And then I read Words of Radiance, and it overtook The Way of Kings. I love this so much when I originally read it, and it became in my top 5 books, Infinity Stars. So I was actually slightly nervous to reread this all these years later and see if it held up after all of the other books I've read since then. And it does. I just love this series. This book in particular, I think, does a great job with talking about accepting who you are, finding the truth, Shallan, accepting that people will make mistakes. Even leaders can make some bad choices, and maybe they did the best they could. Kaladin discovers that throughout the series. And there's just so much I could say about this. I don't want to spend too much time on it and make this video 2 hours. But this has so much heart, so much soul. It's full of action, but action in the right way. It's leading you somewhere. And the character work is unsurpassed. I cannot recommend this book, Words of Radiance, and this series, The Stormlight Archive, more. Do start with The Way of Kings if you have not read that. There's so much background information in The Way of Kings. You need that to enjoy Words of Radiance. But Infinity Stars for this. Truly my favorite book of the month, but because it's a reread, I'm going to exclude it. And that is not to knock the next book I'm talking about, because it is also a fantastic book, but nothing can beat this. So my other 5-star read, and what is my favorite of the month because it was a first-time read, Blacktop Wasteland by S.A. Cosby. This is my 3rd S.A. Cosby of 25. If I were ranking them, this would go second because the one that's ranked first may end up being my favorite of the year, more to come. But Blacktop Wasteland is a fantastic book. It's a thriller. Talk about character work. There's so much great character work in here. The main character, Beauregard, he goes by Bug to some of his friends, is a man who is trying to do the right things for himself, for his family. He's trying to turn his life around from having a life of crime when he was younger. he's trying to know better and do better. It's hard because life can get in the way. People won't let you become who you want to be. This book is equal parts heart racing and heartbreaking. I feel emotional thinking about this book. And what does that say to you? As a writer, if you can make someone feel that, I mean, you've won, right? That is everything to me as a reader. And I loved this book so much. 5 stars, Blacktop Wasteland, and my favorite of December 25. What was your favorite book of the month? Any suggestions? I'd love to hear them. I hope you have a great day.